Hidden deep in Croatia lies a place that looks too magical to be real. Plitvice Lakes. With glowing turquoise waters and cascading falls, it feels like you've stepped into a fantasy. The stories sounded like fables: falling lakes, turquoise waters, a place too beautiful to be real. It was as if nature herself had painted a masterpiece, then tucked it away for only the most curious to find. Photos looked like paintings, the colors impossibly vivid. Every image I saw seemed to defy reality, with blues and greens so intense they almost glowed, as if the lakes were lit from within. Today, I'm taking you there, to show you the magic, the mystery, and the one hidden trail most tourists miss. I doubted them. In a world of filters and digital tricks, how could such a place exist untouched? My skepticism grew with every scroll, every perfectly composed shot that seemed too flawless to be true. My curiosity grew into obsession. I traced maps, studied the forests and rivers, drawn to that small green speck in Europe. I found myself daydreaming about winding trails and secret waterfalls, wondering what secrets the park might hold. Its isolation only deepened the mystery. Plitvice seemed to exist in its own world, shielded from the crowds and chaos that so often overrun natural wonders. How could such beauty remain pristine in a changing world? In an age where untouched places are vanishing, Plitvice stood as a stubborn reminder that some corners of the earth still resist time's relentless march. I needed to see it for myself, to test the legends. I wanted to know if the magic was real, or just another story spun by hopeful travelers and clever photographers. This wasn't just another trip, it was a quest for proof that magic still exists in nature. I craved the feeling of awe, the kind that makes you forget the world outside and lose yourself in the moment. I packed with hope, eager to be humbled, to have my skepticism shattered. Each item in my bag felt like a promise to myself, to stay open, to let wonder in, to be changed by what I might find. The thought of those waterfalls made my heart race. I imagined the roar of water, the cool mist on my face, the thrill of standing before something ancient and wild. Before leaving, I spoke to a colleague who'd visited decades ago. His eyes lit up as he recalled the park, his stories tinged with nostalgia and reverence. He smiled at my doubts and said, "Some places aren't meant to be understood through pictures, they're meant to be felt." His words lingered, echoing in my mind long after our conversation ended. His words became my mantra. I wrote them in my journal, a reminder to seek experience over explanation, feeling over fact. I wasn't just going to see Plitvice, I was going to experience it. I wanted to let the park reveal itself to me, moment by moment, without expectation or agenda. This journey became a pilgrimage, a search for the Earth's most beautiful expression. I was ready to surrender to the unknown, to let the landscape shape my story. I wanted to feel the pulse of a place rumored to be nature's masterpiece. The anticipation was electric, a current running through me as I imagined the first glimpse of those legendary lakes. I was ready to let Plitvice speak to me in its own language. I hoped to listen, to learn, to be changed by the wild beauty that had called to me for so long. This was more than confirming a spot on a map. It was about chasing a feeling, a sense of wonder I feared I'd lost somewhere along the way. It was about rediscovering wonder, about remembering what it feels like to be small in the face of something vast and beautiful. And so my journey began. With every step I carried hope, curiosity, and the promise of a story waiting to be lived. The journey started in the sterile buzz of an airport, where the air was thick with anticipation and the hum of distant conversations. Luggage wheels rattled across polished floors, and the scent of coffee mingled with jet fuel. I watched travelers move with purpose, each on their own path, yet all sharing this liminal space between destinations. It was a world away from the wildness I sought, a place defined by order and routine, far removed from the untamed beauty I longed to find. As the plane rose through clouds, I left behind concrete and steel for the promise of wood and water. The city shrank beneath me, its noise replaced by the soft roar of engines and the endless expanse of sky. Each mile felt like shedding a layer of the modern world, as the landscape below shifted from rigid grids to winding rivers and patchwork fields. After landing, the road trip began. Cities faded into villages, stone houses nestled among rolling hills. The pace of life slowed, and the scenery grew wilder with every passing kilometer. Sunflowers turned to the sun, their golden faces following its arc, while forests thickened, and the air grew crisp with pine and earth. The countryside felt alive, vibrant and untouched. With every kilometer, the grip of daily life loosened. The road ahead seemed to promise freedom, adventure, and a return to something simpler. The roads narrowed, winding into the Dinaric Alps, where mountains rose like ancient guardians and the horizon stretched endlessly. We passed hamlets where time moved with the sun, not the clock. Here, life was measured in seasons and sunrises, not deadlines or alarms. A farmer guided sheep across the road. We waited, unhurried. The world slowed to the pace of hooves and gentle voices, and I felt my own heartbeat match the rhythm of the land. The slow pace calmed my mind, tuning me to the rhythm of the land. Each breath felt deeper, each moment more vivid. Wooden signs quietly pointed the way. No fanfare, just humility. They seemed to say, "You are welcome here, but tread lightly." The park didn't need to announce itself. It knew its worth. Its beauty was whispered through the trees and carried on the wind. Anticipation built with every turn, the forest growing denser, the air cooler, and the sense of wonder more profound. I rolled down the window, breathing in cool, moist air. The scent of moss and rain promised secrets waiting to be discovered. Then, a distant rumble, the sound of water, the lakes calling. It was as if the earth itself was inviting me forward, urging me to leave behind all hesitation. The journey was nearly over, but the adventure was just beginning. Every sense was heightened, every moment charged with possibility. The earth was already whispering its secrets. Sunlight filtered through leaves, painting the ground in shifting patterns of gold and green. I felt myself becoming part of the landscape. The transition was complete. I was no longer just a visitor, but a participant in this ancient story. I was ready to step into the unknown, to let curiosity guide my steps and wonder fill my heart. The modern world faded behind me. Plitvice awaited, its turquoise waters and cascading falls promising a new chapter, one written by nature itself. Stepping onto the path, I felt the world shift around me, as if I was crossing a threshold into a realm untouched by time or worry. It felt like entering another world, where every breath was thick with the scent of earth and rain, and the air shimmered with possibility. The air was alive with the fragrance of moss and wildflowers, each step accompanied by the distant roar of water vibrating underfoot, a constant reminder of the life pulsing all around. We followed a winding wooden boardwalk, weaving through ancient beech and towering fir trees, sunlight filtering through the canopy and dancing in golden patches along the path. The forest seemed to play a gentle game, teasing us by hiding its greatest secret, until, quite suddenly, through a break in the trees I caught a glimpse of something extraordinary. The water before me was a turquoise so vivid, so impossibly bright, it seemed to glow from within, as if the lake itself was lit by some hidden light. The clarity was astonishing. Every stone, every leaf, every ripple beneath the surface was visible, as if the water was made of pure glass. 16 terraced lakes spilled gracefully into one another, their waters tumbling over mossy travertine ledges, creating a living staircase of waterfalls and pools. The sound was a symphony, roaring falls, gentle splashes, and the quiet murmur of streams weaving together, echoing through the forest like nature's own music. I stood in awe, every doubt and worry washed away by the sheer beauty and power of the place, feeling small yet deeply connected to something vast. No photo could ever capture the cool mist on my skin, the vibrant life pulsing in every leaf and petal, or the sense of wonder that filled the air. This was nature's art gallery, a living masterpiece painted in impossible colors, and I was lucky enough to stand in the presence of its greatest work. I'd never seen anything like it before, and I knew I never would again, a memory etched forever in my mind. Despite the waterfall's power, the sound brought peace, a calming white noise that muffled the world. It created a sense of solitude, even among others. Beneath the roar I heard subtler notes, water trickling through moss, leaves whispering above, a dragonfly's buzz, birds flitted and sang, each sound a detail in the park's grand symphony. Standing still, I felt time slow. The landscape was shaped over millennia, travertine building up layer by layer. The water's song was the sound of creation itself. Here, noise was natural and restorative, washing away stress. I listened more deeply, noticing details I'd usually miss. The sound settled in my soul, bringing a calm I hadn't known I needed. Plitvice taught me to truly listen. The forests around Plitvice are ancient, primeval, remnants of Europe's wild past. Walking beneath beech, fir, and spruce felt like entering a green cathedral. The forest floor was a tapestry of moss, ferns, and wildflowers, alive with fungi and orchids. Every inch teemed with life, a perfectly balanced ecosystem. Mosses and algae help build the travertine dams, literally shaping the landscape. Trees stabilize the hills, keeping the water clear. Water and forest exist in perfect harmony, each shaping the other. Touching the bark, I felt connected, a small part of this living system. The water's clarity revealed shoals of brown trout gliding effortlessly below. Their presence spoke of purity and health, a rare sight in today's world. The forests shelter elusive brown bears, wolves, and lynx, living wild and free. Birds and insects filled the air. Butterflies rivaled wildflowers, dragonflies hovered, kingfishers flashed blue. Each creature played its part in this thriving ecosystem. The park's diversity is a testament to successful conservation. Here, animals aren't exhibits, they're part of a living, breathing wilderness. Protecting this place means saving entire worlds. I felt deep gratitude for those who preserved it. Plitvice is a sanctuary for life. Plitvice's surreal beauty comes from its water, impossibly clear, impossibly blue. The secret lies in geology. Water flows over limestone, rich in calcium carbonate, scattering sunlight into turquoise and azure. Travertine dams form as minerals precipitate, constantly reshaping the landscape. The lakes are alive, always changing. The water's clarity is astonishing. Fallen trees rest on the lake bed, perfectly preserved. Reflections blur the line between sky and water, reality and dream. We're not used to such colors, such clarity. Plitvice challenges our sense of what's real. It's a beautiful anomaly. A reminder that nature is stranger and more magical than we imagine. Here, the ordinary rules don't apply. Standing by the great waterfall, I wondered why we're drawn to places like this. For centuries, people saw the divine in wild places. Forests, rivers, mountains. Plitvice inspired myths, fairies, giants, the Black Queen who created the lakes with a storm. These stories try to explain the unexplainable, to give voice to awe. Science explains the chemistry, but not the feeling. Plitvice speaks to the heart, reminding us we need magic and wonder. Such places are vital. They reconnect us to nature and humility. They show us we're not masters, but guests. I felt grateful and responsible to help protect this wonder for the future. Leaving Plitvice felt like waking from a dream. The waterfall's roar faded, replaced by the hum of the modern world. But something inside me had changed. Skepticism gone, wonder restored. I'd seen the impossible with my own eyes. Plitvice proved that nature is the greatest artist and hope still lives in wild places. In a world of loss, it's a symbol of resilience. Places like these aren't just destinations, they're reminders. That even in a noisy world, silence, beauty, and wonder still exist. I carry those falling lakes within me, a reminder that our planet is truly miraculous. Let this be your sign. Go seek the unbelievable. It might just change the way you see everything. So if you ever find yourself doubting what's real, remember Plitvice. And if this video moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me on the next journey. Thanks for watching. See you in the next adventure.